So, do you want to do your five grind time? Want to give some clues? You want to? I can just come out and say it. I'll leave it up to you. But let's start
Okay.
with your number one choice for bots not to invest in.
So first of all, when you gave me the assignment about doing this, I tried to think of, like you said, I thought I was on the right path there with bots. That I went with all 5-star bots,
Hmm?
and I think most of mine have G1s and or uh, SA11s already.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, okay, so these bots are the ones that probably are not going to get any more buffs, or at least no time soon. But I may be wrong on some of them. So the first one is one of the I would call him one of the most iconic characters, and it's a real shame that he's trash in the game. He was in the G1 movie. The Decepticon counterpart is better than he is.
Ultra Magnus?
Ultra Magnus. He has an
Oh.
SA11 already. He has a G1 core already, and still he's. I don't think he's worth much investment.
Do you not think he'll get a buff off Space 8 though, knowing is that awful? Or do you think even after the buff it won't be that good either?
I think they're going to struggle to buff him because his counterpart is Galvatron, and they do different things. So they're going to have to bring him in
Hmm.
line somehow. And just based off all the interaction we've had with them, I think they're going to say it's going to be too difficult, and they're just going to leave him. You know.
Yeah, I didn't choose Ultra Magnus because I think he will get a buff. I think that everyone knows he's pretty awful. But like you
I,
said, the problem is that Galvatron's not. That's the big
yeah,
stumbling block.
and I hope he does because I love that he's one of my favorite characters, but I don't
Mm,
use him because he's
yeah.
just terrible. And in fact, for a while, I was going to level him up and use him and just force him in there just to say I could use him, but he's not worth it.
Yeah.
He's really bad. So that was my first one.
Okay. Number two.
So this one is a bot I didn't know anything about until I started playing the game, and then after I started playing the game, I started researching. This was one of the bots I started researching the whole group that they're in because I didn't know anything about any of them. But the second bot is a female Autobot, and that's Skyburst.
I was gonna say Paramagna, but I totally don't know
Pyromagna is
it.
also one that could be on
Yeah.
this list as well. But Skyburst, and for some reason I cannot find her to go over the stuff.
I always think that is she a gunner? Is she just a special, isn't she? Because she's that weird one that's not a gunner actually.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, why Skyburst then?
she's one of those bots that you can't. She's not really useful for. She's not going to make your war team. You're not going to use her just for Zen farming or raiding, really. Not on her own, anyway. I mean, maybe you could throw her in as part of a team to do it, but again, the way I looked at it, and I really wish I could find her. She's just hiding on my screen, and I can't find her at all.
She's on my screen. That's all right.
But I just don't have a use for her individually. I guess is the reason why. And to be fair, I think there's several gunners, which I don't think she's gunner class. If I could find her, it would help. But I don't think she's gunner class. But I don't think many gunners are. I think several gunners could make this. Don't invest too much in. Jazz isn't what it used to be. Prowl isn't what it used to be. And Sunstreaker's had a boost recently, and he isn't really necessarily worth that investment either. So
Yeah, I was looking at Jazz and Sunstreaker. I can see them getting a cost reduction. I really can. And I think if they do that, it might actually make them quite viable. Skyburst had a buff quite recently, I think. Maybe I say recently, I mean like since release, maybe a couple of years ago. And then they gave a more damage per rocket, I think it was something. And then they gave a was it the ability 11 where it doubled the amount of
yes, I finally
rockets?
found her. Yeah. So
Yeah, that one.
she's currently at level 8 on mine. It says shoots 12 small rockets from long range, dealing up to 98, 34 damage in a line. And the ability 11 is shoots 12 small rockets from long range, dealing up to 1096.
Yeah,
That's your increase. And her G1 is increases the special ability by mine's at level 16,
yeah, that's
increases
it.
it by 20 24 and a half. and stuns the targets for 3 seconds. Which a 3-second stun in this meta is
It's nothing.
nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So I just think that all the stuff she's got is just she's already got it. She's already been buffed. Probably not going to get it again if I had to guess. At least no time soon. So to me, she's kind of one of those bots that you don't really want to waste too much resources in.
Yeah, I think some 5 stars though. I think some of the 4 stars I put in because I think Dale's concentrating on 5 stars for the legacy batches. But I think she'll always be a cleanup bot, and cleanup bots just generally don't do very well. Next one.
Okay, the next one is another G1 bot. I can't remember if it was when he came out or if he had a buff that made everyone kind of go crazy for him for a minute. And then, especially with the Amalgamous core, he was popular there for a hot minute, but then he's kind of fallen away. And now he's one of those. He's one of my dispatch soldiers. Like I throw him on a dispatch team whenever I need to soak up points on a dispatch mission, and that's Snarl. He's got his ability 11. He's got his G1 core, and you still don't see him. You know, and I just don't know what else they could do with him to make him relevant.
Yeah. I don't know, you know, I can see Snarl getting a buff quite soon. I don't know anything about behind the scenes, guys. But the way I look at that is, I think Snarl is definitely up there as one of the worst bots in the game. But you're right, he has had a G1, he has had 2 buffs, he has got ability 11, he has had absolutely everything thrown at him, and still not be relevant. And even in testing, we were like, this needs to be more, it needs to be more. And Space 8 were like, no, we're not gonna do that. And so you start to think, like, why? What do they see something we don't? And sometimes they've got a point. Sometimes we go, oh, it should do more, and they go, no. And then someone comes out with something clever, and you're like, oh yeah, I kind of get now why you sort of said that. But in case it says a Snarl, I still think he needs a buff. But I think they know that. I think they know how poor he is. And I always think that they're already 5 stars as well. They're going to be more open to buffing 5 stars because they know it's top level of the game and people shouldn't be disappointed by 5-star polls. So although I agree right now 100% don't invest in Snarl right now, I don't know, you know, I think we might see a buff for Snarl eventually.
And then my next one is one of his teammates that's a 5-star, has an SA11, has a G1 core, and does exactly what they wanted him to do, but what he does is just irrelevant. And that's Sludge.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know, what else can you do for the guy? Like you make him do what he's designed to do very well, but what he's designed to do is just not needed. Right now. Now maybe time traps come back, honeycombs come back, whatever, and all of a sudden, you know, having him and his G1 core or whatever would be really, really something chased after. But right now, I can't remember the last time I chose him for anything. You can't Zen farm with him. You can't raid with him.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do but send him on dispatch missions, maybe.
I did actually use him in a Unicron war.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, believe it or not. But I kind of get where you're going with it. And I've also spoke about this in the past, that to make Sludge relevant, they'd have to increase wall health. But to do that, they'd have to reprogram the game, because we talked quite a while ago about bots walking around walls because it's faster to walk around a wall than it is to get through it. It's a bad mechanic, but it's just the way the game's designed. And if they increase wall health by too much, bots will realise that rather than walking around it, rather than going through it, I can walk around it. And before we know it, they'll be walking halfway around the map just to get around a wall piece. And so I don't know what they're going to do with that. I think they're just going to accept that Sludge is not relevant. Really.
Well, that's when they need to go through and add that core that you can put on each wall piece that gives each of the tall pieces a little mini gun, and so it makes your bots focus on the defense, which is the wall, because it's attacking them. And then you can bring Sludge in to destroy the walls, or Nose Cone to come through and bust them out, or something like that. You make it where you have to get rid of the walls rather than just path around them.
Yeah, there's a lot of bots that can break wall, but I will give Sludge this, that he's the only bot, I think, that actually you can put on a wall piece. So in terms of nose cone, you got to aim past the wall to a defense to use him. Same for Grimlock. I'm trying to think of other like high wall damage bots, even like Otter's Primal. You've got to target a defense. Whereas Sludge, you can literally just target a wall.
Right.
So that's the only advantage that he has over all the wall busters. But even as a tank, he's not very good.
I remember when he came out as a 5-star, I was wanting to get him so bad because I was back there in the honeycomb, time trap era, and I was struggling, and he was the bot to get, and I got him, and he lasted a few months before he was irrelevant.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more, last one.
Okay, last one.
This is a newer bot, and this may come down to just me being uneducated on how to use this bot, because the funny thing is you just mentioned maybe leveling this bot up to user. So Ariel, Ariel is the bot I'm talking about.
Okay.
Reading over her description and what she does and her ability 11, and I could be totally off the rocker here, and everyone may call me a fool, which they wouldn't be wrong, but I don't see a benefit from her that's big enough for me to replace somebody else on a war team with. And you can't solo with her, so whenever I Zen farm, I'm one bot every base, one bot and a combiner. So I can't Zen farm with her, I can't raid with her right now, unless I get taught how to use her or something, because maybe I'm not seeing it. She's not going to be on a war team, so to me, she's just useless.
Yeah, she's very niche, don't get me wrong. But my idea was in this war, and it's probably going to even Unicron, to be fair. So it is sort of like long road. I'm not even talking Prime League, I'm not talking Cybertron, I'm talking Unicron. So sometimes the base is just so front loaded, and you think, I could probably rush around this base and skip some of the defenses. And what I was finding was that you'd have to rush up to his Prime, rush him again, the bots start to follow, they had to rush again. So it's 3 rushes to get up to the top. And that's cost a lot of points. So I think my idea was that I rush once with Optimus, rush twice with Optimus, the bots start to follow, and then use Aerial from then on. Because rather than using Optimus Prime, if we can find him. So Optimus, stats a minute. Optimus is 5 plus 2, so that's 5, 7, and 9. So you're talking 21 ability points to get your bots where they need to be. Where if you use Optimus just twice, so 5 plus 7, that's 12. And then you get Aerial to do the last rush, or 2 rushes. Then that then lowers it to 12 plus...
She's 4 not.
12 plus 4 is 16. So you're saving a lot of ability points. And then when you do these rushes, you always destroy the target. You always do, because the DPS and the bots. And so by doing that, by destroying the building, the bots will get a 40% damage increase and damage absorption. So when you're rushing and smashing, it has quite a good use. Don't get me wrong though, that is the only use I can think of. I don't think I'm going to put in my walk team. But she will do well in a Russian smash team, I think. Really well. But very niche. If you're not Russian smashing, then from what I can gather talking to you, Grant, I don't think I've ever seen you Russian smash in these wars.
Just in every 2 weeks raids. Just in raids. Russian smashing raids.
Yeah, well, you're not really gonna level a bot just for raids, let's be honest. It's a sort of kind of a dead game mode really for most. So yeah, I kind of see where you're going with that though. And listen, I'm not sitting here saying, listen, this is gonna work, because it's just an idea I've got, and I've not got much else to level. So that is basically where I stand with that. But yeah, listen guys, let us know in the chat, let us know what you guys think. Do you agree with my selections? Agree with grind times? Agree with both of us? Agree with none of us? Let us know. Let's have a discussion in the chat, guys, and let me know what you think.